Okay. Page 2, Beautiful Brown Eyes. They're telling you about a country touch, countries in quotes. Yeah. So they're saying there's 3 things involved in a country touch. There's probably more than that, but we'll cover these 3 and start with this. One is that you're going to find plenty of dotted rhythms. So if you're struggling with dotted rhythms, I would encourage you to go back through where the book covers dotted rhythms and try and understand them. For the first few pieces, I'll try and explain the dotted rhythm. After that, I'm just going to figure that you got it, and I don't need to explain it every time. The other thing they're pointing out is that a lot of times in country music, you'll have harmony above the melody. For instance, in Beautiful Brown Eyes, the melody is actually the bottom note in the right hand of the top staff. So it's here. That's the melody. This note above it is harmony. As your skill improves, eventually you want to get to the point where you can bring out that bottom note. So you just put more weight on the bottom note. I'm almost this, but it's not quite. Just putting more weight on the bottom note. Like so. The other thing involved in a lot of country arrangements, especially with piano, is the little grace notes. There at the beginning, you got that? They're very quick, and I play them on the beat. I play that G with the G. Here, I don't play the grace note. No. Play them very quickly together. And you'll see them, they're in all over in this book, so hopefully by the time you get through the book, you'll be pretty good at those. Now this book uses a lot of pedal, and most of it I totally disagree with, and I would leave out. And I'm going to tell you about it when the time comes. In this piece, you can go ahead and put in the pedal where they're telling you to, because it provides, well, everywhere they use it, it provides a contrast in the sound. Because look at the second line on page 2. You have, without pedal, it's this way for the last 2 measures where the pedal's shown. It's this way. If I add the pedal, it's this way. Completely different sound. And it's that contrast between that sound and the other sound that we're after. And that's a lot of, especially in country music, that's why the pedal's used. When it comes in on page 2, you have this dotted rhythm. Now it's in 3/4 time, so you have to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. I'm going to leave out the grace note for a bit. It's just 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now the left hand's playing quarter notes, so it's on the beat. So, and if you look at the music, you see that 8th note is in between 2 quarter notes in the left hand, and that's when you're going to play it. In between the 2 quarter notes. So things line up nicely. And that's really all in this piece. That's it. If you get that, you got it for this piece. Hopefully the dotted rhythm will work out for you okay. What you don't want to do is wait until I play it or you hear it from somebody and then just copy them. I really prefer you be able to look at the music, understand it, and be able to play it accurately. And have the confidence that you're playing it accurately. Go ahead and follow their fingering, not the most wonderful, and a little later on I'm going to start adjusting the fingering to make it a little more advanced fingering. That makes it a little more difficult, but right now we're just going to leave the fingering alone, the way it is. In the left hand you have the broken chords. This is the primary chords. This is in the key of C major. So you have the 1 chord, the 4 chord, 5/7 chord, and the 1. And that's really all the left hand is doing. It's got the 1 chord. You look at the second line, the last 2 measures, it's the 4 chord. If you look over on page 3, first line, last measure, that's the 5/7 chord. And that's really all the left hand is doing, is these chords. So we can focus on the right hand, because that's where the action is. Oh. Now there is a first and second ending at the bottom of page 3. So we're going to follow that. They have an asterisk there at the first ending that tells you about first and second endings. You know, that asterisk is just telling you about a footnote. It's not part of the music. Hopefully, I don't know, do you not know what first and second endings are? I'm too lazy to go back to the level 1 book at page 54 and before and see. However, what we're going to do is we're going to play it all the way down to the first ending, to the repeat sign. Then we're going to repeat back to the reverse repeat sign over on page 2. We're going to play all that again, except when we get down to the bottom of page 3, we're going to skip the first ending because we've already done it. Don't need to do it again. And do the second ending, and that's where it ends. As far as the pedal goes, it's pretty simple. I'm going to push the notes down first, and then push the pedal down. So I want to start the sound first, and then the pedal. So for instance, on page 2 at the bottom, there where the pedal comes in, we're going to push the notes down first, and then the pedal. I'm going to keep the pedal down for the whole measures. And then before I play the notes at the top of page 3, I'm going to lift the pedal up. And it's like this. Because I want to break in the sound because it's a different phrase. They didn't put in phrasing, but if you follow the words, it's a different phrase. The beautiful, beautiful brown eyes is a phrase. And then at the top of page 3, beautiful, beautiful brown eyes, again, it's another phrase. And so you follow the phrasing, and if I keep the pedal down until after I play the first notes at the top of page 3, I lose the phrase. I don't want to do that. And that's that. And then when you get to the top of page 3, the last measure, I'll push the notes down first. Now I would lift the pedal up right after I play the last beat, second line, first measure. When I play those notes right after it, I lift the pedal up right there. Because I don't want to blur this. That's too much, so it's this. And that way I can lift the right hand up to get a break in the phrase here anyway, because I want a break in the phrase. I don't lift the left hand up, it's legato all the way through. I just lift the right hand. Remember phrasing, the end of a phrase, you lift it up, and then beginning of phrase, so there's a little silence in the sound there. Then on page 3, line 3, it's almost the same. I'll push the notes down first. I'm going to lift the pedal up with the right hand before I play the last note in that second measure. So I would not pedal that last beat. To demonstrate that third line for you, it's this way. Like so. So that's what I recommend. Then the pedaling at the bottom, you can just pedal it the way they're showing you. And lift the pedal up with the hands here before you repeat, because we want to break in the sound between the first ending and when you repeat it. But in the second ending, you can lift the hands and the pedal up together at the end of 3 counts. And that's the pedal. It's pretty simple, huh? Oh, yeah, right. So this says moderately not too fast. I don't know what that is, but you probably hear recordings of it. You get an idea how fast it goes. If you're going to sing it, you get an idea how fast it goes. It's sort of a love song, I reckon. A country style cowboy love song thing. You'll notice above the top staff throughout here, there's chord letters, chords. At the beginning it says C, and you look at the second line on page 2 of the second measure, there's an F. That's the name of the chord, so if there's a guitar player around, they could play along with you. They would just improvise on those chords, and you could play together. I think that's it. I think I've covered about everything here I want to cover. So, let's try this out very slowly, just to check notes and rhythms, because you can speed it up on your own. I'm going to give us 3 counts, because it's 3-4 times. So go ahead and put your left hand here, your right hand here, foot's on the pedal, so it's ready to go. 1, ready, go. 8